What's poppin', people? This podcast is brought to you by American Express. Being an Amex member means I'm always looking forward to the next time I can go see one of my favorite artists. Like I just saw Lil Wayne at the Apollo Theater just a few nights ago. I love a good live show in the summer because there's nothing like those songs that stick to your ribs during the best time of the year. And with Amex, it's not about if you see your favorite band in concert or artist, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it. This podcast is brought to you by American Express. You're a member when there's always a show to look forward to. American Express. Don't live life without it. What's poppin', people? This episode of Say Less with KAZ, Loki, and Rosy is brought to you by Mickey D's. All the best nights out always end with a bite from Mickey D's. Now, I know when I'm going out with my people and we get into a full car of what you want that breaks out in the middle of my whip, the Mickey D's drive-thru is just the right amount of chaos I'm always looking for before we end the night. Everyone's got their own Mickey D's moments. Go on and make more delicious memories. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
What's poppin', people? Welcome back to another episode of Say Less with KAZ,
Yo.
Loki,
Hello.
and Rosy.
What's up, Rosie?
How you doing, Rosie?
I want to know why my name is last.
Because you were the last to join.
You were the last edition.
So just fuck me, just put me up there.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yes, pretty much.
I think we could put me in the in the middle somewhere.
We'll pause.
Hey, yo.
So, yeah, like we're like.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I got me in the middle right now.
We're not that type of friendship,
we're not
Rosie.
we're not that type of.
Oh, don't flatter yourself.
It's not that type of
Oh my God! First of all,
not that type of
the
group.
audacity of you two to think that that's what I want this friendship to be.
I was just saying.
That's disrespectful to me.
First off,
Say sorry.
You said put me in the middle.
you started the whole middle conversation.
The
We apologize.
I don't apologize. I thought it was you wild. Like, I think it's a perfect. I think it flows nicely. KAZ, Loki, and Rosie.
Yeah,
It's
what's
like
wrong
What
with
that.
about
Why you
KAZ,
wanna
Rosy,
remove-
Low-Key?
No.
Just saying. Let's
Bro,
think
you
about
gotta
it.
put a little more years in.
All right, think about.
Oh, that's what it comes down
That's
to.
what it comes down
To
to.
be fair, Lo, you only put like 8 months more than she put.
All right, but who has more?
This is true.
All right, then, so you gotta put a little more.
Hey, listen.
All right, whatever.
Man makes points. No,
Did he?
Yes, I did.
That is a debatable point, but
It's
I just
not
don't want to get
debatable.
into
It's a
it
very
because then we're gonna
debatable
be here for
point.
like 10 minutes.
it's a very debatable.
It's
one.
very go.
Put some more work
Speaking
in.
of been here for speaking of being here for 10 more points than we need to. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube or seeing us on our socials, we are here at the future home of Chef for Hire. Our good friend Hawaii Mike Salmon, the legendary content curator, cannabis expert, hip hop extraordinaire, one of my longest, dearest friends. Hawaii Mike is joining the show. And we're doing the show here from his store on
In
the week of
Brooklyn.
420.
Restaurant.
Oh my God, not
Yeah,
store, his restaurant. Speaking of restaurant,
Here you
So
go.
for those who are not familiar,
Here you go.
Hawaiian
Here you go.
Mike
Here you go.
makes he is a chef, but he makes these delicious infused meals, right? So this is the debate we were having before the camera started rolling. Was we were trying to tell KAZ when you can't
You really shouldn't.
when you can't
I thought it was for good effect.
turn the
but-
mic away.
when you can't take.
Yo, bro, that nigga's high.
Where's the big voice?
I don't know, but that nigga.
He just that big voice like, they're so good.
Yeah, that's the little one.
Voice.
No.
The purple.
It was that one. Go ahead, cuz. You guys are crazy.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
What did you say,
Alright,
Rosie?
Okay,
Right.
so what I was saying, what me and Loki were trying to tell KAZ is he thinks it's good when you cannot taste the
weed.
THC, the
Okay.
cannabis.
Yeah.
We're saying that's more dangerous because if you can't taste it, the more you're gonna want and the
You're
higher
more
you're gonna
inclined to keep going.
get. At
And
least
we
if you
compared
taste it,
and we compared it to
we
liquor.
compared it to liquor because me and him don't
we
partake.
don't smoke, but we drink. So if I know it's a bottom shelf trash quality of liquor, you're not gonna really understand the effect it has because it's just like, oh, I don't taste it. So
Hold on. He's here. He's here.
Well, all right, wait.
Hawaii
Which
Mike,
one
what
is
is
not?
that?
Yeah,
I don't think any of this is
None
infused.
of these
None
are.
of these
This
are
is just
infused.
fire food.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, low key.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
But one
No,
time,
it won't be high key today. It'll be low key.
Gotta stay on the lowest key today, baby.
That was a good.
That was good.
guys, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Hawaii Mike. is in the building.
What's poppin', y'all?
At the future home of Chef for Hire, we are
Yes,
here at the beautiful establishment in Brooklyn. Lots of history
Lots.
in this building as well. I've known Hawaii Mike for a very, very long time. I've been a follower of his work for even longer than that.
Yes.
And it really is an honor and a pleasure to have you here, sir. How you been?
I'm
Or
fucking
for
great.
you to have us here.
Blessed.
Thank you for having us.
We're like a
reciprocal.
traveling pod right now.
I like the travel vibe.
We're giving travel vibes.
We moving.
A little nomad action.
A little bit. We're kind of a pod without a home right now, which is fun. I like
Just
Yeah.
hopping around.
It's
Just
I like-
visiting people. I kind of like this.
I like it too. I like it too. But you brought over some wonderful plates for us, please.
Yes, sir.
Man.
What do we have in front of us?
So what I'm gonna do at Fly Private is a celebration of hip hop through global food culture.
Okay.
Right. So I got some garlic fried rice that we eat in the Philippines.
That's
like
really
so we always save it for the
In the
next day.
Philippines?
We hook it up, and then we got some jerk chicken.
Let's get
Right.
to
So
it.
mixing and marrying two cultures that for me are very at home. Right.
Okay,
Especially
okay.
being out here, and seeing what the flavors are, man. Yeah. Please.
Wait.
please.
So
Go
you're
ahead and pass this
Filipino, not
around.
Hawaiian.
Right here.
This is
I was raised in Hawaii.
I was about to say, you gotta explain.
You was about to blow my mind. just
Where does
now.
the
Like, all
Hawaii
these years,
come from?
I never
Thank
knew.
you, sir. Appreciate you. Pass the
let me get it.
utensils.
Pass the
There you go.
utensils. I got some napkins for y'all.
All these years, I never knew.
Yeah. So
Now, Mike, before you got on, we were having a discussion.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask him
And,
too.
and I'd love to get your perspective on this. This is
Okay.
a very special episode. Obviously, we're doing this 420 for those who partake and celebrate the holiday. Appreciate y'all. We were talking about the wonderful chopped cheese empanadas that you put in.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I partake in edibles from time to time. And usually when I taste the edible and I can taste the weed in it or smell the weed in it, I know it's going to fuck me up, right? These edibles that I had, I didn't taste nothing. I didn't smell nothing. It's just I wouldn't have known if it was infused unless you told me. You said I was
Which
a
is
little bit
what
infused in it.
makes them dangerous.
Now, to the way they explain it,
Dangerously delicious, but they're dangerous.
dangerously delicious. So their thing is like, yo, if you're drinking like an alcoholic drink and it tastes and you can smell the alcohol through it, that means it's
You're
bad,
limited. You're
whatever.
not gonna have that many.
And it's worse if you can't taste the liquor. You know what I mean? Because you could just have a bunch of. There you go. You could just have a bunch and then here, wipe your. Oh, you got a napkin. Basically, long story short, as far as
that nigga's high. That nigga is high.
Already. Might be.
I'm not high. I promise you, I'm not high.
Okay.
But
Okay.
when I am, you will know. But I guess the question we asked is it better to? I think the fact that I couldn't taste the weed doesn't mean I'm not gonna get as trashed as I would if I was having like a brownie that like I could smell the cannabis from. Like, how does that sort of work if you're thinking with your liquor brain, saying like I can't taste the liquor, this is clearly gonna get me smacked.
Yeah.
So my goal is to normalize the use of cannabinoids as an everyday essential. So I don't want people to taste it. It's not normal to just sit there eating and tasting. Like, weed really doesn't taste that good.
It does not.
It smells incredible. As soon as you decarboxylate it, which is to activate it, it doesn't taste good. Right?
Decarboxylate. Late. Okay.
Decarboxylate.
Explain decarboxylate. How does that?
So-
how do you take that out of the cannabis and put that?
So cannabis in its form, its flower form, is called THCA.
Hold on. So for those of you who tried to make edibles at home and fuck it up, listen to this.
Please,
Yeah.
it's a tutorial.
So it's THCA, right? So you can eat flower like the bud, and you're not really gonna get high. Like, it's great vitamins and there's great nutrients and cannabis. There's great things in it,
Okay.
but you're not gonna get high off of that. You
Okay.
need to light it. So that's why when you smoke it, you get high.
That's when the magic happens.
So that's the same. So it's decarboxylating as you're lighting it. So to activate it, you got to put it in the oven, covered, grind it up, covered, nice and sealed, about 240 degrees for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Some people will argue different, so just find your happy medium in there.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to all the experts. Become your own. You know what I'm saying? and yeah, so it's like I really don't want, but I could load it up as much as you need and smack the shit out you, and you'll never taste it.
I know you can because I participated at those backyard parties before.
That's what I
experienced
said.
you loading shit up and getting
He made these little fried like mac and cheese. I don't know what they were.
Yeah,
These
the mac and cheese balls.
Oh my God.
Actually, smack and cheese balls.
They were so fire, but nobody told me they were infused. So I had like 4 of them joints. And next thing I know, my friend was like, yo, you're gonna be pretty high. And I was like, why? She's like, they're edibles. No idea. Couldn't taste it. Nothing.
But also, I think we
that's
should
what I'm
also kind of get away from calling infused food edibles.
Okay.
So what?
Right?
So how would you term it out?
Infused food. Like, it's just because you can have an infused experience and it can be all kinds of, you can get an infused massage.
Right,
I wouldn't call that edible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You might be eating edible lotion though, or edible, like, whatever, if you
think
getting
that's like
sexual with it.
But do you think
know
there's
what
like
I'm
a
saying?
negative connotation
Yes.
to the word
Yes,
edible?
because I think the word edible, like we was talking earlier,
Yeah.
we all got that one story in band camp or one story in school. You know what I'm saying? Where I had this brownie and oh my God, I don't know what happened. I woke up 3 days later and I had a beard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't want that.
I had an experience when I was in my mid-20s where, I think it was an LRG party. I'll never forget it.
Right, it was.
It was an LRG party in Uptown. It was. And my dumbass, right, it was 420. And this is during the Block era.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm walking around and there's like tables and, you know, this is my first real, like, grown-up 420 party. I'm like, all right, like, there's weed everywhere, there's edibles everywhere, but every table had a plate of cookies. So my dumbass,
You thought
I'm
they were
thinking,
being nice?
wow.
These people are so
They got
nice.
the munchies here for you. Once you smile, oh, this is great. I'm 2 cookies in. That's what I'm like, damn, you're really putting them cookies back. I'm like, yeah,
they're
I was
cookies.
like,
Free cookies.
it's like, them cookies about to fuck you up in an hour. I'm like, no. And I was literally just like this. I was like, hold on. I was like, no. And my God, I got on the wrong train.
Yep,
I was
see?
downtown already.
That's what happens.
I was downtown. Hold on, my fault. Well, the joint came out. I was downtown already. I lived in Staten Island at the time. Anybody who knows New York, I got on the train. I ended up in the Bronx.
The ferry doesn't go to the Bronx.
That's what I'm
though.
saying. I'm one stop away from South Ferry. I gotta go to
You
one
went the
stop.
completely opposite way.
I was so high, I didn't realize I went the complete fucking opposite way until it was too late. I got up. I spent the most at that time I ever spent on the cab, which was like $100 just to get me back to Staten Island.
Wow.
And I was so smacked, and I didn't realize that much time had passed. That I ended up on the complete wrong side of the city. So
What time did you get home?
I took a cab. I saw
No, what time?
Oh gosh, it wasn't even that late. That's the worst part. It wasn't even that late.
It was like 5 o'clock.
To me, I thought it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I go home, it was like, you know, SmackDown was on. I was like, damn, it's like 9 p.m. It felt like it was like 2 a.m. But yeah, there's so many.
Wait. You got home at 9 o'clock and still took a $100 cab?
I was scared to
When the
death,
trains
bro.
were still
I was
active?
scared to death. I had no clue where I was. I didn't know how to get home. And I guess I say all that to say, I guess the word edible does sort of have a negative connotation because everybody has that one
I've
story.
never heard a good edible story.
Nah, I don't say that, but it's loaded. It's a
Okay.
loaded word.
Okay,
It comes with a lot of baggage.
It definitely does.
You know what I'm saying? And some people are taking the baggage to go on a nice trip. Other people are like, nah, I don't ever want to go there again.
That was me for several years.
That's
for several years,
That's
I
where
was
I'm
like,
at. That's where I'm at.
Oh.
I don't
You have
ever
an edible story?
I have a weed story, but I don't have an edible story.
oh, you walked to my house before with your hookah. You was smacked.
No, yeah, what?
Oh, you slept some tree in his hookah?
So, yeah, so that's the only way I can get him, right? So this is
That nigga trying to like shrug me.
listen.
What the fuck?
What is this, like date rape?
That's the only way I can get him.
That sounded awful.
Crazy, bro.
Yo,
Only way I can get him good.
so
But it's true though.
This is the early days of Say Less. This is pandemic era. This is when we're taping like in the barbershop down the street
Or like on your porch.
or on my porch. And it was a Sunday, and I was like, Lo, we in a pandemic. We ain't going nowhere.
We weren't doing shit.
Oh, was it Friday?
I'm gonna get you high.
I'm gonna get you high
It was
today.
like a Sunday night.
I figured out how to grind the weed into
Yeah.
the hookah coal and
Yeah.
put the whole thing there for him. I was like, bro, I'm telling you,
Bro,
I've
He
done
put
it,
that.
it'd be great.
He put that shit in the hookah.
And the flavor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm smoking that shit. I'm like, all right, it's cool. But like you said, I can taste it.
Yeah.
So I'm smoking. 30 minutes later, my appetite turns.
Low.
Bro, I emptied that nigga's fridge so fast. I'm like, yo, let me get that. Put this on the plate.
Why you have the bodega right now?
He look like he put in an order. He's like he's ordering.
I'm picking shit off like a sniper, bro. Like, and it's 1:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting there eating everything I can get my hands on. I wake up the next day. The worst feeling in my life. My stomach is doing somersaults.
Yeah, that was the one thing I learned about the weed hookah. Like, it's definitely a once in a while thing.
You know,
What happened?
It's just
Something about that in tobacco for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the combination of tobacco and the weed, and then I ate so much. So, like, my stomach was fucked up. And I don't smoke. So, like, couple the weed, the tobacco, the food, and how late it was, I was like, no. He's been trying to do that shit to me for mad
For a
long.
minute.
And I finally gave in.
So let me ask you about, if you're hosting dinners, right, with infused food, why are people still hungry afterwards?
Well, because you still get the munchies.
That's a good question.
I have questions.
You still get the munchies. Because you still get,
But you're still eating.
Yeah, it's like an automatic thing. But it's also that, like, what I've learned is intentions, right? Intentions drive everything we do, right? If we start putting our mind to, like, I'm not going to start munching out, then, like, what are we going to, you can stop that.
Right.
So I think, like, I tell myself all the time, like, when I go home, I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to go and chill. I'm going to go read a book. I'm going to go drink water first. And then you stop eating the munchies. You don't even think about it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you got to train yourself.
It's a mental condition. Or it's a mental,
I definitely condition myself.
We're creatures of habit, right?
Yep.
It's like, let's go smoke and eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So our body's so used to the idea of, I'm high, I got to go eat now.
Yeah.
It's definitely like...
Or I'm drunk, I gotta get a chopped cheese. Or I'm drunk, I gotta get Chinese food.
Right.
Like, we condition our mind to that routine that's what it's supposed to be like. And it doesn't have to be, but it's just convenience.
If you was from bottle era and you came out the club at 4 o'clock in the morning, you went to the nasty truck and got the skewer.
Yeah, got to.
Like,
or you went to White Castle, or you got the pizza. Yeah.
So, I mean, let's talk just about, just cannabis culture for a minute because, obviously, Mike, you've been, instrumental, especially in New York City, but, globally, really, with cannabis culture and everything you've brought to the table. Now that it's been legalized in a lot of states, and especially in New Jersey and New York, I can't believe how many smoke shops you can go into now and just get weed anywhere.
those aren't legal.
I was about to say, like, I remember, so first off, about that, right?
No.
Bro, I remember being on the radio, hearing the radio, I think I was listening to Hot 97, and it was like, starting now, you can get, they can sell recreational in New York, and this was about, like, 2 months ago. I'm like, 2 months ago? There's, like, stores I was going to after MSG that I can literally just go and get a pre-roll, whatever. So, let me ask you, just how has the legalization of cannabis sort of changed the way you do business and how you create in your own way?
Let's see. It's changed because now the pathway is to kind of legalization and seeing what that looks like, right? And how do we participate in this market that hopefully we know can make a lot of money, right? But it's something we've been doing in the shadows because of the powers that be for my whole life.
Did it fuck your shit up a little bit?
Nah, not like that. It's like, how do you say it? The regulations and how they rolled the program out is what hurt a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Because all those stores opened up, they didn't have laws in effect. So the licenses aren't out, nothing happened. But last year it was legal. So there's a gray area. The cops can't really do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cops can go and like throw you a little citation. You can open right back up.
Yeah, it was weird because it's like, I remember... Like, so, I was working at the garden. I still work at the garden from here and there. And, like, I remember just going there at the end of last season. And then there was, like, a month off after the Knicks were done. I came back to do my summer shit, and there was, like, 9 smoke shops. Just around the vicinity of MSG.
Trucks.
Yeah, like, even the truck, like, the trucks I always thought were kind of fugazi, but, like...
Nah, but that's just the one truck. There's way more trucks now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say their names, but there was one more truck that was always out there.
Yeah.
That, like you said, the Fugazi joint.
Yeah.
But now it's like they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want the ice cream trucks back. That's all I want. I can't find
I
them.
seen an ice cream truck where I was like, y'all sell ice cream or? Nah, I don't think y'all sell ice cream.
Oh wait, is there infused ice cream?
I'm sure there is.
Of course.
I might fuck with that.
Everything.
Oh, for sure.
I might fuck with that.
I mean, I'll infuse anything.
I mean, so I want to talk a little bit about just what we were saying as far as, you know, there were a whole lot of laws and gray area in the past several years, just as far as like folks that wanted to get into the business or folks that, you know, wanted to open up legitimately, or folks that worked in the shadows that had to kind of like, you know, maneuver around certain ways just to kind of get it done. I think a lot of people, when, you know, cannabis was being legalized in New York, New Jersey, kind of felt like, you know, folks that were actually doing this as a business were kind of left out, especially if they had a prior record, if they were people of color, all these other things. Can you kind of explain how that sort of worked and why it worked out that way in the beginning of the legalization?
Well, in New York, they're really pushing for social equity and trying to protect the people. So the first dispensaries are called CARD. So it's conditional adult use recreational dispensary. So you had to be justice involved.
Right.
You had to have somebody in your family or yourself been arrested, right, for cannabis.
Right.
But in New York.
What, you had to be? Wait, explain that.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you had to have been affected by the laws.
Wow.
Right? In a negative way.
To contribute.
No, in order to even apply for this dispensary license that's out right now.
Huh.
Right?
Okay.
So they're only conditional license right now. There's only 2 licenses right now. There's a conditional manufacturing license, right? That's all the people who had a hemp license before, right? You had to operate for 2 years, and then you could get that license, and those are the growers now.
Okay.
They also have processing and manufacturing in addition to the grow. Then you have the dispensary, right? And those are only, again, justice harm individuals or nonprofits like Housing Works and, what was the other one? Not Job Corps, but one of those.
Okay.
Like, that's Union Square Travel Agency. And so those are the 2 that opened first. Those are nonprofit based.
Okay.
So they help justice involved people. You know what I'm saying? So whether homeless or getting people jobs and things of that nature. So they're trying here.
Yeah.
It's just they're up against a lot, right? So name me a socially equitable industry that's in this country.
I mean,
Porn.
You said porn?
Is it though? Is it really socially equitable?
I don't know if it's socially equitable.
I don't know if it's socially equitable
I think it's
in the sense
pretty-
like, well, shit, men get paid less than women.
That's very true. Yeah. That's very true.
So even
About damn time. Shit.
I'm about to say, I don't know, teachers, maybe? I don't know.
but is that socially
Educators? I don't know.
right? But if you think about it, how hard that's a difficult question in this country, right?
Yeah,
Because you think about any major industry, you're like not even close,
Right.
right? So they're trying to do that, but think about they're trying to do something that's never really been done. So they're already up against a huge mountain.
I feel like once it was legalized, like that was the biggest question coming out of it. Is like, how do you make it fair for those folks who either spent time in jail or had families affected by it? Like, how do you take something that, you know, there's still people. Apologies for the bells, by the way. I think we're next to a church.
like-
or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a church.
It's
It's 6 o'clock somewhere.
It's because we preaching, y'all. That's why.
Kansas High.
I think I'm a good 15 minutes away from being high. But you know, that was the biggest thing, right? Like, there's people still in jail for selling, for getting high.
Yeah.
People in jail. There's people that, you know, had to deal with a whole lot of things with the law, and now it's a nearly $1 trillion industry. In less than 3 years of it starting to become
It's popular.
legalized around the
like
country.
it's actually
But you
popular.
want to know the wild thing?
Yeah.
I don't even think we're at the starting line yet.
I don't think so either.
Like, because until we're federally legal, this isn't even an industry yet.
Yeah.
Like, this is a hack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
It's a state hack. Each state is hacking their way through this and creating their own shit.
Okay.
It's no federal regulations. There's no
no
federal
laws, no
guidelines.
bills, yeah.
There's no nothing. FDA hasn't got involved.
Yeah.
Right?
true.
Department of Health really hasn't even got involved yet.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole bunch of other layers that we got to get through to really make this like a viable industry.
Do you think is that on purpose? And why they're not?
Oh man!
Why they're not?
How long do we have? Because we're about to get into a conspiracy podcast.
We can get to it.
I'm just asking. Like, again, I'm not proficient in weed like that. I don't smoke. So it's like, you think is it they're delaying the process, or they're watching the process and they're trying to pick apart how to make this process easier or difficult, or are they just turning a blind eye to it?
Well, I mean, so think about what new slavery is right now, 13th Amendment, right? So think about the private penal system. how many people are in prison right now that work for Fortune 500 companies? Right?
A lot of white collar crime.
Right?
Bunch, yeah.
But not even that. No, I'm talking about not the people that are in jail that work for the Fortune 500. Fortune 500 companies are invested in the privatized penal system.
Oh, yeah.
So AT&T call centers, Whole Food fucking farms, like there's all kinds, right? That go into that. Now, who do you want? You want murderers, violent criminals, all this, or you want enterprising entrepreneurs that understand how to operate a business, i.e., people that sell weed.
Okay.
Right? So how are they gonna, if now weed's legal and they get everybody out of the penal system and they can't arrest them anymore, who fills those positions? Who's gonna fill those prisons back up? So that's why I believe that's part of the reason they're stalling out. The second part is, again, what's a socially equitable industry? What's the industry they really want us to be a part of, and not just be a part of, be founders, owners, controllers, operators.
I mean, you tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm
like,
pretty sure between the NBA and the NFL, people of color really like drive that, and music, right? I mean, look at us right now. Like, we're the driving force of global culture.
Yeah,
true. You know what I'm saying? But do we own the labels yet?
Nope.
Do we make the majority? Do we have the 80-20 deal and we get the 80?
Nope.
Like, nah, but we're making and influencing all the money. So again, they need to keep this control. They need to keep these percentages and the businesses that same way.
You mentioned the NBA, the NFL, music, obviously. You said we're still at the tip of the iceberg. Like, when do we get to the point where it's like, you got weed sponsored ad? Like, we got Kevin Durant who's openly saying, like, yo, I use weed like a glass of wine at the end of the day. Like, I'm high right now during interviews. Like,
It's on the way.
Yeah.
15 years ago, we were sitting in fashion conversations. When would Louis Vuitton look at us and recognize us?
Yeah.
And now it's just
now
not
Pharrell is the creative director over there.
So again, like, all of that's coming. What happens is the more influence we have, the more the doors open, or the wider the door opens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the conversations change.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But is that good or bad? I don't know. Because I look at Louis Vuitton as a minstrel show.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, all right, we can go deep into the fashion conversation and talk about this.
I just looked at a big old Louis thing right out of the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah.
It's a young black boy with a rainbow to a pot of gold, and he's looking up smiling. Why are we okay with that? Like, are they stealing black boy joy? Is that what that means? Like, is the pot of gold the black boy joy, and that's what they taking? Like,
the rainbow is the path.
because I grew up. I'm a '70s baby. I grew up in the '80s. I remember when they told us they don't want drug dealers and they don't want people in the ghetto wearing their clothes.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I saw ex-drug
That's
dealers.
how Tommy Hilfiger was, and all
was that Tommy Hilfiger thing real?
Yeah.
Was it real?
Yeah.
What, him being
There was a whole thing.
That
it was
man
like,
ain't want us
him
wearing
being
none of
racist?
his shit.
listen, I've heard this for my whole life. I've never seen like one time. I'm like, all right, do we actually have footage of this motherfucker saying, I don't want niggas wearing my clothes?
You not, but like the conversation.
When I was a
I've
kid,
never seen that.
When I was a
Right.
kid, I was told this motherfucker went on Oprah and said all this shit. I'm like, I'm
Things your mom
30-some
told you
years
as a
old.
kid.
I'm
That'd be
like, we
footage.
still don't have this shit.
Nah, that'd be funny. Somebody had a
Somebody
camera phone
was
back then.
But that's one of those things we just all
If it
believe.
still resonates today and it happened. If it still
Poor Tommy
resonates,
Hilfiger,
then
yo.
fuck that nigga, bro.
Poor Tommy Hilfiger.
some shit.
But it's that conversation to me. It's like at one point we're gonna have to start looking in instead of out.
Yeah.
For the acknowledgement, for the understanding, for the support, for everything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's us. At the end of the day, it's not them. They just have
we
the
move
distribution.
everything.
Everything.
We move everything.
What are we not
culturally.
moving right now?
I think there's with that conversation alone, I think because you said we don't have like the structure, right? We don't have, what do we own? Are we getting the 80 or are we getting the 20? I think when that conversation has vice versa, when we're giving the 80 and they're taking the 20, I don't think these conversations have an endpoint. I think it's just like we have to get to that point. We have to be the LVMH. We have to be the Microsoft, the Google. We have to be the NFL. We have
Look at it from Pharrell.
Yeah.
He's had BBC for how long?
Yeah. He sold it. You know what I mean?
And then bought it back and did it again, and nobody was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna support you because you're great. We love." But now they're like, "Oh my God, Louis Vuitton, you're at Pharrell. Oh my God, I'm gonna support that." What?
Yeah,
Like
that's
why?
weird. That's
weird.
weird. Yeah.
Like that's that same thing where it's like, other people are gonna support you before your friends do. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for your friends to support when you start something new.
Yo, how much time we got? Because my nigga, you open up another portal.
I was about to say, you preaching.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like so.
Where the bells at? Say, okay. I'll set for those.
Close enough, guys.
We need the church bells.
Right, we need the church bells.
Take them to church.
All right.
All right, Mike. I guess I gotta ask you this question. Do you remember your first like weed experience? Your first ever cannabis experience?
Like me cooking or just
in life.
In
Like,
life?
what was the first?
When
do you
did
remember
when
the-
did
the
you know you
first
loved
time-
that
I
bitch?
feel like the nigga started like at 8.
Like not vividly, but I remember one time my mom smoked it when I was in the womb.
Yo, it has to be some shit like that from Mike.
That's pretty early.
It has to be.
He said, I remember when my mom was smoking and I'm in the womb.
I
That must have been
definitely
some
feel like
good ass weed.
Nah, so the very first time after when I was born, I remember is I was probably around 9 years old,
What'd I
and
tell
me
you?
and my like fake
9 years old?
my
What?
fake
I literally just said 8.
like
I'm
fake
trying to
stepbrother.
Okay.
We were stealing roaches from his mom's ashtray and just like going and sneaking and smoking. He was like 12, I was like 9, so that was the thing. But 12 was probably when I really started smoking.
Okay.
and you never looked back.
I don't know a life without it. Like I'm dead ass. My mom smoked with me in the womb.
Really?
My mom dropped acid 2 days after I was born.
Really?
Yeah. So my mom
Wait,
is
wait,
super
wait,
spiritual.
wait, wait, wait,
No,
like,
you heard him correctly.
Wait.
You heard correctly.
Sometimes I need people to double back when I'm doing this.
Yeah, because he definitely ran through that line. He slid right through there.
And I don't like when people slide right through shit that's say again.
So my mom smoked with me when I was in the womb, and she dropped acid 2 days after I was born.
Now she told you this?
Yeah, for sure. Oh no, we've had super open conversations. Me and my
Which
dad.
is dope. Which is dope.
So my products are about to be in the market, right? And so I was talking to my dad. We was texting. He was like, I remember doing deals with you on my shoulders. like
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, but not. I mean, low key. I was talking to low key. I was taking weed from my dad, and that's how I started selling weed. I was like taking out of his peas and pushing my pee.
You was taking from the plug.
Did he ever find
Yeah,
out?
my dad was the plug.
Did
I mean, he used to be like,
out?
"Did you?" I was like,
Did you
nah.
pitch? Did you
know.
pitch for my shit? Yes,
I'm giving it back now. You know what I'm saying? It's all reciprocal.
Full circle.
Trust me, I just got the text.
Just wait,
I'm
Pops,
short
just
right
wait.
now. He's like, I need some flowers. That one you sent before was really good. Can you send more of that?
Yeah.
So
It's
it's full
full circle.
circle, right?
yeah.
It's all full circle, and that's for me how you really know you're exactly where
This is
you're
where
supposed to
you're
be.
supposed to be. This
Yeah.
is where your environment was. And obviously it wasn't a healthy environment when it started. Yeah, your mom is smoking.
What do you mean?
And your dad is.
I mean, I don't think it was that
No,
unhealthy.
no.
Like-
I mean, theoretically, yeah. No, theoretically,
Why the
it's not.
violence, Lo? Why the violence?
I'm just. What I'm saying is, yes, an ideal way to grow up. That's not the ideal way to grow
For
up.
who?
The traditional way. Let's say that.
That's not what society says. Say that.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, what I'm saying, society is.
I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
It's based off of tradition, right? So your upbringing was not tradition. It's not approved by society. But now what happens is you have this.
Yep.
What happens is you have a great relationship with your parents, the fact that y'all have these open conversations, and the fact that you're now making a living doing what that shit was back in when you was growing up. So yeah, full circle. But yeah, this is not traditional. This is not how society puts you out there. This is not normal.
We'll say
good.
But we'll say modern society though, because who knows thousands of years ago?
Yeah.
Like every single person, even you, low key, that doesn't smoke or people who've never smoked, every mammal with a vertebrae has an endocannabinoid system, right?
Oh, say that again.
Yeah,
Endocannabinoid.
Endocannabinoid system.
Spell it.
We're never
we call it.
Lo, don't even try.
Benson, if you can get like the bouncing
Lo
head on
can't
the
even say
words.
macadamia.
So E.
He told us say it
So
again.
I'll spell it. So ENDO, endo, cannabinoid, CANNABINOID, system. Right?
Okay, explain
And
what
so
that is.
This system.
That's not like how people.
Nigga knows his
They
shit.
deep dive into.
Nigga knows his shit, bro.
Let the man speak.
So it basically.
I'm very interested in this combo.
It basically affects every other system in your body.
Okay.
Right? So when you eat, right, your appetite gets affected.
Yes.
Right? You sleep. You want to sleep sometimes if you smoke at night. Right? Your mood changes. Right? So it really creates homeostasis for your body. That's really what it wants to do.
Okay.
Right? What affects it is the compounds found in cannabis called cannabinoids.
Wow.
Right?
So that's the happy part. That's the CBD
I mean,
part.
Is that the root of cannabis?
That's
the word?
like to me what I learned when I heard that was, oh shit, we got a symbiotic relationship with this plant.
Okay.
Like it's like a lock and key, right?
Okay.
So it unlocks things in us.
That's already there.
Well, or opens us up to, again, that's why there's so many different varietals of the plant. That's why it grows everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can consume it so many ways. You can drink it.
Yeah.
You can take it as a
You
pill.
can wear
You
it.
can smoke it.
You can wear it.
You can wear it.
This table can be
Rub
made out of it.
lotion.
Like
This
oils.
chair could be made out of it,
Yeah,
right? There's
yeah.
hempcrete. These floor. It's
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So how could something that does so many things and can be used for so many things be this demonized plant in our world?
I
right?
know why. And I learned that in college. Wait, let's talk about it.
This nigga said, wait,
The
nobody.
government?
No one said that.
I mean,
Nobody.
you learned about the government in college?
It was like you're right.
Hold up.
No, I mean it wasn't.
Hold on.
It wasn't here. It's horrible. See that school system?
You see how the New Jersey school system works, goddammit. Nah, but that's what it is. Like, once you realize how you mentioned like the privatization of prisons and stuff like that, and just literally, as fucked up as it sounds, how profitable it is to lock up brown folks. You know what I mean? Like for things that they're
Legalizing now.
it's wild to me. So I remember like I mean, clearly this was before my time, but like I remember like the Reefer Madness videos and the Dare stuff and like the special episodes of Saved by the Bell and all this type of shit.
Don't
Or
do
it's just
drugs,
like,
kids.
yeah, and it's like, damn, all right, man, all right, I'm definitely never, and I didn't. I did not touch weed until literally maybe my senior year of college.
Right.
I want to say like I was already like I played basketball my whole life. I was already kind of done. You know what I mean? I didn't think anything was gonna happen after that.
I'm glad you knew that.
As an
I think I know, as an athlete.
I'm glad you had the realization.
Hey, it happens. But
Sober.
when I first started to take it in and just kind of like talk to people and just kind of realize like what made it so demonized, it had less of a stigma on it towards me, right? It made me think like, well, first off, I always used to rationalize it by saying, well, this shit's in the ground and it grows, and like if it's
Comes
in the
from the
earth,
earth,
like I'm pretty sure there's something in there that's okay for me.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah,
always kind of
yeah,
rationalized it.
yeah.
And then I realized just the people who made a lot of money from it in the beginning and how it sort of became this criminalized thing. It made so much sense why you made it something that was demonized in our society. So I understand what you're saying, like how it wasn't the way that people.
The traditional way that society looked at as success.
I feel like your relationship with your parents is extremely key into how you saw this product.
For
so,
sure.
So talk to me. I know you mentioned just about your relationship with your mom and dad, but like obviously it has to go much deeper than that.
Yeah, no, I mean, both of my parents are musicians, right? So I grew up in a household where like Saturdays, Sundays were jam sessions.
Yeah.
Right? And it was the adults, it was the kids, it was music, it was food, it was weed, it was probably other things and alcohol or whatever else, right? But it was about the unity, right? And it was United Nations.
Yeah.
Like my parents played Brazilian music. My mom's from Brazil. But we had, dude named Babatunde, African dude. We had all kinds of people around us. So it wasn't like ever, and I'm racially ambiguous. Nobody's ever been able to guess my ethnicity. I got a freaking Arabic last name.
I'm just like,
You know what I'm saying?
motherfucker's Hawaiian. That's all.
Yeah. and low key, I'm not.
Bro, that's why I left it. I'm like, anybody that's gonna name themselves Hawaiian, anything, I'm like, that's where they from.
Nah, I didn't name me. I didn't give myself that name. My man Pecos gave me that name.
Shout out Sean Pecos.
Pecos gave me the nickname.
I'm like, Hawaiian Mike, one, it sounds cool as fuck. Two of them niggas does cool shit. So three, that's his name. That's where
that's where he's from.
And to put it even further, my given name isn't even Mike. Or Michael. Like, that's my real name's Dylan.
That's new information.
Yeah. Well, no, you knew this because you did my podcast.
Yes, I knew this.
But all right.
You're pressing too hard, Lo.
Yo, the plot twist is crazy.
So, but peep game, I wouldn't have ever got the nickname Hawaii Mike if I didn't change my name. No, if I didn't change my name. Because Hawaii Dylan wouldn't fucking rhyme.
It would never go.
Doesn't
I
have,
don't like
you know what I'm
it.
saying? And Hawaii D, like a girl could call me that, but dudes ain't gonna call me that. You know what I'm saying?
Hawaii D.
Hawaiian Mike is hilarious. Like, the fact that your name is Dylan, you don't even look like a Dylan.
Bro.
So you want to know how I got my name? My father's name is Eddie.
Okay.
EDDY. My mother's name is Linda. LINDA. They took the DY and the LIN and put it together.
Yo, your
That's real Dominican. They're Dominican.
No, they real hippies. They hippies.
Dominican, bro.
His parents were high when they did that shit. That's what that is.
Also, high
I don't know all
Dominicans,
that.
bro.
Bitch, man, like, nigga, this name is Tom. Like,
Dominicans
why we
love
playing
all
Scrabble with this
the
nigga's name?
time. They be like, let's give him half of my name and half of your name.
Your
That's
parents
it.
are high as shit. And I love it, bro.
But since like Bob Dylan is DYLAN, right? So everybody knows how to pronounce that. But this is the 70s, right? So
Hippie, yeah.
I got Dylan.
Dylon, bro. They should have just named you Dylon.
So I was like, 6 years old, and I was like, I can't take this anymore, Mom. I need a different name. So I chose Michael, leader of the Archangels, whatever, strength, protection.
So you changed your own
He
name.
changed his whole name. Yo,
Actually,
who are you, bro?
I'll say this: the universe changed my name
or something.
because I wouldn't be here if I didn't change that name
Yeah.
talking to y'all. Because y'all wouldn't be talking to Hawaii Mike.
Nah.
I'll be talking to Dylan.
Well, you might not even want to talk
from-
to
we
Dylan.
don't even
Dylan
know where
might be doing
Dylan's
some
from.
other
I
shit.
ain't talking to Dylan.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dylan was probably.
Nah.
Dylan might not be as cool.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
If Kaz was like, yo, we gotta go to Hawaiian Dylan's.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
What's
nah, I'm a
Hawaii's?
pass.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a
it's
question for
all.
y'all though. To bring it back to like all
Nah,
the
why you
weed
funny as
shops
hell?
that are around. You said that they're not fully legal, right? So how are they making sure that it's legit cannabis and like, not mixed in with no bullshit? Like how are they?
That's my biggest thing.
How are they doing that if there's no health department involved, no FDA? Like what?
Like, there's no metric to measure what's.
Yeah, so
what's
they could be selling us anything, really.
Like, what?
What? What is it? Why does he keep doing this?
They're not. Not those shops, right? Like, it depends. I'll say this. It depends which one of those shops you go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them really care, and some of them are trying to do their best and act like they're,
They care for the
operating
culture. Yeah.
within the guidelines and everything like that, even though they don't have a license. The majority of them are just trying to get that quick buck. You know what I'm saying? They saw the opportunity, saw the laws are like really loose.
Right.
Let's just hop in there and just,
There's definitely some dirt in there.
Oh,
I'll definitely
man,
see
let's
it.
get
That's
it.
why I was
definitely see
asking.
it,
I'm
yeah.
like, if it makes them more of a profit, why would they not be doing it? They don't give a fuck.
But it's a risk. You're operating a completely illegal business. So if you want to do that, cool. We're in New York, so there's a lot of people like doing that shit anyway.
I was about to say, it's not the first time people do illegal shit in New York City.
No,
I mean,
if you're gonna do it, this is a great
it
place
makes
to
you
do
feel
it.
better to walk into an establishment than get it from Ricky off the street.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
feel
gonna
what I'm
lie.
saying?
Like, I
in a
definitely-
little weird little baggie, they didn't even measure it.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely feel a lot more responsible, like when I'm getting weed in my groceries.
Yeah, but all right. So the majority of those bags are fake.
Okay,
Right?
that's true.
So you
no,
go-
I mean,
you-
I go to. There's a dispensary in New York that I don't really. If I grab a smoke shop, it's like usually a pre-roll on the way home. But I
You
have
posted that with the cheers.
Oh no, Apothecarium. That's my spot. So yeah,
There's a smoke spot that I think you should go to next door to Sahara.
Here I'm going.
Give you some options, bro.
In Jersey, there's a spot called
Somebody's
Apothecary.
Well, that's illegal. That's a legal dispensary.
Yeah,
though.
it's they sell cookies there. They
huge.
sell
They're one of the
Tyson,
biggest
they
in
sell-
Jersey.
Yeah, so like that's the place I feel comfortable. Like, all right, I know I'm getting some quality here. I know it ain't no dirt, blah blah blah. But you know, sometimes if I'm on the way home, I had a long day in the office or in the studio, or I'm nervous or something like that. I like knowing that I could just like walk past a smoke shop, grab me a little pre-roll, hit like a quarter of that joint, and be like, all right. Let's go on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just
Okay, don't.
maybe not on
don't-
TV.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, don't make that. All right, hold on.
I'm just kidding, guys. I would never do that. But I'm just
Wow. Thank God you didn't like prey on somebody. Like, I swear to my best friend, he was just drop dead.
Even if it's
I'd have
true.
been like,
Even if it's true,
just
that
kidding.
nigga, even if it's true, that nigga still be killing it.
no, thank you,
Even if
thank
it's
you.
true.
Listen, I'm a professional now,
There you
right?
go,
Now-
there you
but no, can we talk about let's talk about Chef for Hire in specifics, right? It's a social dining experience. I've enjoyed the experience. One time when you first started launching it in the backyard.
I'm enjoying it right now.
You're enjoying it right now. Some non infused.
We call that the
dishes.
commercial flight.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get high.
No, that's the commercial flight.
It means-
So the commercial flight's regular.
all he heard was
Oh,
flight.
it was flight.
The private flight.
Oh, okay.
The private flight.
That's what
All right,
you're
Dylan. Let's see
The
what you
PJ. Dog, Dylan is comedy.
I'm not gonna say it ever again. I gotta get a couple in there.
once. I gotta try.
I gotta get a couple in there. That's
It
it.
don't feel good.
He's
It
like,
don't
Paul,
feel
man, let's see
right.
what it felt
No,
like.
yeah, I gotta see what it felt like.
Hey, yo. Oh, my
So
God.
we're in the new spot. I know the pandemic was crazy for a lot of people, yourself included. But you said like serendipity kind of stepped in, and now you're back in this incredible establishment in Brooklyn, New York. Talk to me about just how it all kind of came together, and what are the future plans for this establishment?
I mean, the building we're in, there's a lot of history. I had my son's baby shower in here like 21 years ago. I had my,
Yo,
my-
I'm like
yeah.
one of your son's biggest fans, by the way. He's an ill-ass artist. If you ever follow his Instagram page, he makes incredible artwork. But,
And then I had my goddaughter's first birthday. We had that in here.
nice.
And then, you guys know Ryan, right? From what's their podcast from Mac Wiles and them.
Oh, yeah. The guys next
Oh yeah,
door.
yeah,
guys
no,
next
Fly
door.
Ride,
Yeah,
Fly
yeah,
Ride,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is his building.
Oh no, snap. Okay, shout out Ryan. We in your
Ryan's
building.
building?
This is his mom and aunt. They ran and operated this business for 50 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It all
So-
makes sense.
Nah, shut
Yeah.
the fly
Oh,
ride.
gems.
Shut the fly ride.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all. So I ran into him like 2019, and he was like, "Yo, my mom, da da da." Got in here, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
I started paying rent, but the pandemic hit, so we chilled, and then I opened up as a restaurant in June of 2020.
Okay.
And we operated till August 2021, so a little over a year. And it was really like, again, the community. That's why I got the whole idea for community and unity being our capital. And so that's why I have that graphic where UNITY is capital. Because we had the stoop. We weren't allowed inside. Everybody's
Yeah.
outside on the stoop, eating out there, just
Yeah.
kicking it on the street. And then, the owner, long story short, took it back, but then now I'm back in here. So it's full circle, and now I'm excited because we actually get to have people dine inside the spot. It's a different energy. But I think people are also looking for this.
Yeah.
Like there's other people that have started doing certain things that we do,
Right.
but they're like, nah, we want to go to your experience. We want to see what you're about. Because fortunately
you're
for me, we built the
pioneer.
brand. So people know the brand. Like when you hear Chef for Hire, people know that brand in New York. And that was very important for me, whether we was doing anything or not, was to build the brand. Right? And so I'm not just a bag. I'm not just somebody throwing something in the bag.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we got an experience. We do a bunch outside of just our products, our food, and dinners. So
If you could give somebody the elevator pitch about what that flight experience is like
Right.
in here, what is it like? I've experienced
Yep.
it, but I'd love to hear from your perspective.
So our supper club flights, and we are 2.5 hours long. They're multi-course experiences. We've done from 3 to 11 course tasting menus. They're basically a gathering to make everybody feel safe to be their authentic selves and vibrate as one. It's like family dinner at its best with strangers, but the people that you would most likely want to be around, like that
Okay.
type of energy.
it's always a good crowd
Yep.
in here, yeah. That's
And we
facts.
call it flights because when we started this in the beginning, nobody really knew what to expect.
Okay.
Right? And what we needed was trust. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we ended up getting as people started to come through. Who do you trust the most? I trust the pilot, right? Somebody I've never seen in my life, probably never gonna meet. They take me 37,000 feet in the air along with a couple hundred other people and land us safely at our destination.
That's a nice little logic right there.
You know what I'm saying? And so what we do is we take you to a nice cruising altitude. Right? We get you up there, you're nice and high, right? And then we land you safely. You know? So I'm your captain, Hawaii Mike. Welcome to the experience.
By landing safely.
These are our flight attendants.
What do you
know
mean by
what
landing safely?
Well, landing safely meaning you're gonna go up, but you're not gonna go up so high that you fall.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Just had to hear it.
It's like because that's my thing with edibles. Everybody has that story, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like people used to tell me it felt like you got pushed off of a cliff.
Yes.
And now I'm like grasping for reality. I'm trying to get back up to normal.
You ever watch Get Out? You ever watch the movie Get Out?
When he was in the chair.
He's falling and like the box
Exactly.
is like going that. That's what it feels like.
You're in the sunken place.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of flights.
Yeah, I don't even. Bro,
Guys.
I'm about to say this is what this empanada started. Hey, man.
Get that story on sound effects. Shit.
No, I mean, Mike, I wanted to ask you just like, based off the history of this place, based off of the history with your family, the process of you getting to this point, the legalization, the loopholes, all that stuff. What does this entire process, this entire full circle just mean to you as an individual and you being a person, a product, a cloth of this specific culture?
I mean, so I look at the industry and how people talk about this green rush. Everybody's like, oh my God, we have the opportunity to make so much money. And I'm looking at it going, wow, I get to actually be myself for once.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I can walk around just as me.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, I was either an editor at a magazine or I had my own magazine or an agency. So I'm sitting at the table with VPs and CMOs, not knowing their managers and directors are buying weed from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I had to, like, always this dual thing. You know, I walk into an office, the assistant's like, yo, come see me after. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's always kind of been that. Now it could be like, yo, what's good? Yo, yeah, I'm seeing you.
Like,
Everybody's like, bro, now they can ask questions.
It's
And,
wild, bro. Like I was listening to the radio on the way in here, and like Bart Scott and Alan Hahn are talking about like smoking weed like on the ESPN radio, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine like 5 or 10 years where it's like you said, like people can kind of be their more natural self. I'm not a weed head by any stretch of the imagination. Do I enjoy it? Yeah. And it's nice to be able to just be like, yeah, man, like, yes.
Yo, you like to smoke? Yeah, I like to smoke.
Kaz enjoys anything fun though, by the way. Disclaimer.
Wait, what?
Like anything that makes him like happy is like, I'll try.
I think that's anybody.
yeah, right? I think I'm like that.
Yeah,
if I like it, I like it.
Yeah,
But some people are scared to try stuff.
Yeah.
So
No, okay, yeah, I get that perspective. I didn't say anything.
My goodness. Mike, obviously outside of the cannabis world, you have a very long storied history in hip hop culture. Like you said, as an editor of magazine, as of magazines, also just running your own agency, doing stuff with some huge brands around the world, consultancy, all that, all of those kind of put together. You are so instrumental in like the way hip-hop music has been covered in the past several years. And, myself, low-key, Rosie, we was having these conversations over the past week about AI covers. And like all this artificial intelligence and
hey, I think them shits are hard.
Shout to Allen Iverson though.
I was about to say Allen Iverson did these mixes. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely shout out to AI. He should be mad right now. He's like, everybody talking about me? They just took away his whole. They took away part of his whole like. I'm AI.
Talk to me about. You've helped edit a bunch of legendary hip-hop publications, and the one thing I keep seeing from a lot of folks that listen to these AI covers, and especially folks who have history like yourself, myself, Low, Rosie, all that type of stuff, is that there's obviously the soul missing. Even though it sounds good and like you can listen to it, I can hear Rihanna on this.
None of that shit
It's like when you taste food with no love in it.
There's no love in it.
So
They just made the plate.
None of them shit sounds good to me.
I was actually gonna say this before, but you led me right back to it anyway. I don't think the majority of society cares about authenticity.
That's clear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my purpose is to hold space so people feel safe to be their authentic selves.
Yes.
Right? And so I've done that by, conversations. I've done that through my magazines. I've done that through road management, agency, when working with, my clients who are Fortune 500 companies and connecting them to our culture.
Yeah.
Right? We got to keep this authentic.
Of course.
So that's been something for me. Most people talk about what? They don't talk about why.
Right. True.
You know what I'm saying? But why is your intentions? Why is your foundation? Why is your fuel?
And that's and you mentioned that because the authenticity has kind of been a slippery slope, right? Like hip hop started off with like you got to be the realest of the real, and if anything is not, if everything's fugazi, you get thrown out of here.
But
and like as the years, my fault.
Okay.
As the years kind of went by, it went from okay, you don't need to write all your rhymes, and then went from okay, you don't need to necessarily be from the streets, and then okay, you don't need to necessarily do this, that,
That's
and third.
bullshit.
And it just started like like. The statute of limitations started sliding to now we're basically getting robots doing music, and obviously to us there's no soul in it. But there's other people that are like, man, it sounds just as good as.
But I think
Those are people with terrible ears.
One, that's true. Two, I think we have to really understand that the conversation is not that a robot is doing this, that, and the third. A conversation should be had that a robot can't. A robot cannot, like he just said, report from his environment. A robot cannot tell you the time and place and this, that, and the third.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
But see, like this is where I get upset because y'all think this shit is funny.
I don't think it's funny. I think
y'all think it's entertaining. Y'all think it's like, oh shit, like it's not. Like, and the more
that's not what I think though.
No, I'm just saying, like, a lot. I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying, but a lot of people are looking at it like, "Oh, this is hilarious! Oh my god! Like, look what they're doing! Like, look at the robots and the AIs!" And like, no, bro. Like, hip hop is not that. Music is not that. Music is me telling you a specific time and place of what I went through with this song or with this verse or how this beat was made or how this beat made me feel. Fuck all that shit.
To you, there's some people out there enjoying this shit.
Yeah, and they wrong.
It's not us.
And they're not authentic, and they don't have souls.
Yeah.
And they're not invited
They
to
don't
the
have
dinners.
ears. But,
The fuck?
but at the
Easy.
same time, I hate talking about this AI shit because the more we talk about it, the more legs we give it.
I mean,
Yeah, but you almost have to talk about it because that conversation needs to be had in understanding that it's a tool. The internet's an incredible tool, except for when tools use it. Right. I've been saying that for years. Right. That's one of my things.
Trademark.
that I've always
That's
said
a
that.
fact.
Right.
Yeah, trademark that.
And what we're doing though is we're allowing this shit to. It's a slippery slope, like you said, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is that this is the game. This is part of the systematic approach to fear. Right? This is fear mongering also because they're going to get people scared as shit in a second instead of educating themselves and learning about it. Once they have them scared, now you're sheep. Now all we do is corral you and push you in the direction we want to push you.
But that's the thing that worries me the most, right? Like, obviously, with the AI, like, I would want it to use it as a tool because it's like, it seems like it's one of those things that isn't going anywhere, kind of like the internet, where it's like, well, I might as well figure out how to use the shit before it overtakes me. But the one thing that worries me is that, like, the ability for it to learn, that it almost influences the human influencing the prompts, right? So, like, for right now, as it stands, like the human is on top of the AI, but what happens when the AI gets on top of the human and now that is influencing the person who's at the top of the rest of the tentacles of people who consume this AI generated content, right? So now it's like, all right, am I listening to a person or am I listening to a fucking robot? Is a robot fucking really, it becomes a very slippery, uncomfortable sort of slope right there. So my only fear is how fast it tends to learn.
Bro, look, 20 years ago, we wouldn't even be fathoming this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is happening so fast.
My question would be, does it ever start to replace artists?
No.
That's one thing that's been good, though.
No, but the fact that no. That's what we can't ask that question because
Of
now
course
we're
you can ask it,
but
but you got to discuss it, though.
It shouldn't be a conversation. Like, how are we even getting to this point where we're like, yo, is it gonna like how?
Okay, so there was a Black.
How do we get there?
There was a Black Mirror episode where Miley Cyrus basically played
Oh, I saw that.
Britney Spears as a character, and they took conservatorship and had AI make all new music, give it out to her fans because the record
Did you
label
watch
had
that?
rights, but they couldn't.
No, I'm not watching that
voice,
shit.
So they used it. So my question is kind of in that lens of, could it be an artist's rights, human rights issue?
I mean, here's my thing, right? Like, we've already kind of seen, like, holograph artists being passed. Like, I'll be honest, a lot of AI music I don't like. I heard Rihanna on Thames the
That
other
shit was
day.
fire.
I was like, this shit is fucking
That shit was
fire.
hard.
This is what I
don't know if
this is
it's,
what I'm talking
I don't know if
about.
it
This
mixes
is what
in
I'm
with
talking
like, I don't know if it mixes in with just me not
The
hearing new
accent.
Rihanna
I'm
music
talking
for a
It
while.
should also be just
But
an
it
accent.
definitely felt like,
This is what I'm
But see,
talking
this is
about.
the danger, right?
That-
because
yes.
because right now what they're doing, and this is how monopolies start, is there's no regulation for what's happening right now.
Right.
You can't trademark your voice.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't own my voice now, and now that's gonna become a thing now.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're gonna have AI trademark lawyers and shit like this. So they're gonna, what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, well, look how many jobs this created.
Yeah.
Right? It took away those low jobs, but it created these bigger jobs. No, we're basically trying to police ourselves so that the shit doesn't go out of control, right? But they're allowing it to do that because, again, I think the fear part helps, right? So how low key is like that. They want that shit.
Yeah.
They don't. They could easily come out and say right at the jump, because these aren't small companies putting AI out.
Well, of course not. These
Right?
are the biggest companies in the world.
So you think they haven't lobbied the government already?
Right.
They're already doing it. Speaking of the government, telling them they're coming out with this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We've already seen the social experiment where there's programmers apologizing
It's crazy.
for building AI, right? And all of the algorithms that are happening.
Yeah.
Right? In 20 years, bro, we've gone from not even looking at a phone or caring about that to 60-70% of our lives is like this in our phones.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Not even just for the fact that we're doing and communicating and socializing like this, but for the amount of brain power that we have to use just to look at those things.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I bet you my eyes are fucked up right now because I'm looking at my phone all the time.
Yeah, same.
Oh, nigga, my hands are fucked up.
Oh, for sure. I got that carpal tunnel. I had to go down.
We're there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like my body structure is like this because I'm on my phone like this.
Oh, no,
all
people
the time.
in the future are going to look like this when they're
Yeah,
born.
like my fucking
Right?
neck
So they
and
can
my
look
back
down at their
hurt.
phones.
Yeah, we're fucked. Like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Box from South Park. The box.
Oh yeah.
We're fucked, yeah.
The Cartman, the Butters.
Yeah, it was
shit.
like, what was it? Was it ADD or just the phone time?
Yes, I think it was.
Phone time.
There was an episode on South Park about it where like they would go in a box and just use their phone.
Right?
It's been
This is
fucking- when
slippery
they took
slope.
away the internet from everybody, and then they got to go pay for it and stuff.
My favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know my
Buddha box,
favorite
that's what it's called.
will never have an AI song out because I know how my favorite sounds. And I know how my favorite feels. Pause.
Hey, yo.
And I know how genuine my favorite is. So all this AI shit, I'm not buying, I'm not jacking, I'm not renting, and I'm not purchasing.
Okay.
Fuck all that
Do
shit.
you,
Well,
do you
you
use
have-
ChatGPT?
What?
Do you use ChatGPT?
What is that?
Nah, I don't use it either, but I know what it is.
No, what is it? What is
It's
it?
basically like a application where you could type stuff up and they'll like write essays for you. Right?
You could basically give
You can prompt
AI
it to write
prompts
anything for you.
Oh, no,
and
no.
it will write. It'll write a deck for you. It'll write your whole show for you. It'll do all of it's wild.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's
nah.
Right
Because it's
now,
it's not
look,
from me.
but so just like the internet,
What's it
right?
called?
ChatGPT. So just like the internet, right, is an incredible extension, right?
Yeah.
For us.
Yes.
The fact that we can just go on. No, I don't even want to say it, but on a
On a mobile platform.
on a mobile platform and go and type something in. I'm now on free ads for what? They got enough paper. They got enough paper. Yo. I ain't trying to like keep promoting that.
do you wanna say
what I'm
it?
saying?
Nah, I get you.
And then you can just get all this information back. Like, bro, we used to have to go look at microfiche and read books
Encyclopedias.
and Encyclopedia
Do y'all know what an
Britannicas
encyclopedia
and
is?
like, bro, like.
A through Z.
That used to take forever, and you didn't get them all at the same time. We couldn't
book
afford
at
it.
home.
We had to order
Yeah,
certain
you had
books.
to order it.
And
You
then
had to order one at a time. Like they had to
Each
bring
letter.
they had to bring the
Each
book
letter.
of J, like J.
Yo, the
They had to bring it to your
encyclopedia.
house.
And then you had to
And you
cite
didn't get
the
it every
encyclopedia.
year, so you was outdated. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Yo, we're old.
I missed those
Just
times.
by that.
I missed the
You know what I'm
dial. I
saying?
missed the dial up. I miss putting the
You don't miss
AOL.
You talking about dial? I'm talking about analog.
I'm about to say, you
You know,
don't miss
I just miss the old shit. That's all. I'm old and grumpy.
I miss. You know what I do miss? I'll be old with you right here.
Thank you.
The meet me at the park at 6, and if you're not there at 6, you're getting left,
Yeah, you
and
just
then
get left.
you just know what time to go home. Like
I still
no
do
one's
that.
blowing your phone up.
Yeah, like if you
No
ain't there at
one's.
6.
But now people could blow your phone up. Where you at?
Where you at?
No,
Where you at? Where you
it
at?
was,
Where you at?
I'm not home. Call the house phone.
One phone.
One line,
the house
message.
One line.
The house phone.
I remember that. No call waiting.
No call waiting. When the street lights come on,
nigga,
go
star 69.
home.
God damn.
Blocking numbers, star 67.
And have someone ask you a question and find out how stupid you are.
Nigga, what?
What?
I didn't hear what you said, Joe.
Let your phone die, and then someone asks you a question and you realize how much stuff you need to look at your phone.
Oh God!
nah.
Somebody
yeah.
asked me for like a person I've known for a long time. Was like, yeah, just text me. I was like, I don't know your number, bro. This
This is like automatic for
I
someone
have
to
like
say that.
3 numbers I have saved to memory. The
Hey,
rest, I'm just like, what was
you
my
guys
phone
remember
number?
when I learned that lesson?
Oh, I know.
Here we go.
So I've actually been having my
Dog.
peoples that drive me not use
What's the
GPS.
trail? Wait, what?
Not use GPS. Like if you're driving me home to my crib, don't use GPS.
Why?
He said,
Like an Uber?
nostalgia.
No, my
Use the
peoples,
map,
my peoples that
motherfucker.
work with me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're saying that, yo,
Yeah,
like,
for my
remember
people
how
that
to
work
get
with me.
there.
Not just
like-
that, but bro, you know where you're going. Like, why do you have to turn the GPS on and have it tell you
Yeah,
how
you
to
know
go
what?
home?
you call- yo,
No,
so
that's
you-
a fair point. I've
Nah,
used
it's
GPS
brain
for places
power.
I've known before.
No,
You
but
call-
it's
yeah,
brain
so you
power.
calling them dumb.
No.
Like, don't be dumb. Don't
No,
be dumb.
telling them to
no, I'm
exercise
saying don't
that.
dumb yourself out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Like,
saying
exercise
use
your
your
brain.
brain,
Dumb yourself
exercise
down,
your
yeah.
brain.
I got you.
Like use the brain power that you have.
I do the same shit. Like I know exactly how to drive home every day from work,
And
but
you use
sometimes
GPS every
Still
day?
use GPS.
because sometimes they'll tell me which is the quickest route, and a lot of times I'm trying to.
And how
get
many
home a
other
little
people do they
quicker.
tell the same shit to?
Probably. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All of a
You know what I'm
sudden,
saying?
it's not so quick,
Have you ever been driving using GPS, right? And it's always like route change.
like
cool.
the same
cool.
5
Then all
minutes.
of a sudden,
So now you
you see
take it-
everybody turning the same way. Everybody all of a sudden signals take the same exit. You know what I'm saying?
We're dumb.
Yeah, we are dumb.
We're so
We are dumb.
But
This is why you need more pothead friends.
That's the sheep
This is how they
mentality,
think.
though.
This is how they think, bro.
That's the sheep mentality. I don't like being the sheep mentality,
Nah,
man. I like
he's opened up
thinking.
a couple portals this episode.
Like we gotta do that.
It might be the jerk chicken as well.
Mike, you might be like my therapist for like every other week. Just because the way he thinks
I
is
gotta
like,
pull up to
I
the
never
spot,
thought of
like,
that.
yo.
They're like, Mike, I need to
I
talk.
never thought of that.
I need to tell you, yo, this is
Hey,
jerk chicken. I
let's
need to
go.
talk real quick.
Speaking of which,
Oh my god.
that's why I'm bringing my podcast back so we can have those conversations.
I was about to
what I'm saying?
say, let's talk about the podcast
Yeah.
coming back, man. I was a guest on the show
Again, full
many
circle?
years ago. We're all full circle right back again. And I always said, every time I ran into him, I'm like, yo, you gotta come do the show. You gotta come do the show. But now we fucking brought the
We
show
came to
you.
him.
God damn it. Talk to
Oh,
me
you
about
ain't
the
gonna do it?
podcast,
Watch this.
man. Obviously, when I did it, it was definitely I don't even think I ever told you how helpful it was for me mentally. Like, because I was going through some shit. Like, my father had just passed maybe like several months before that, and like that was the first time I really got to just like express myself in a way, and I wasn't probably
Did
not
you
the best
cry?
thing. I don't think I cried, but like I for sure was emotional during that episode. But it was really gratifying, man, and I never got to really thank you for that, bro. So I'm really happy to hear the podcast is coming back. But talk to me about it, real quick.
I appreciate it. So, I mean, the podcast is really kind of this, right? It's conversations with our friends. And it's really to instigate those deeper conversations, the things that we don't like to talk about, when we think we're only the ones feeling these things. And our friend might be doing the same thing or going through the same thing, and we're both like, nah, we good.
Yeah.
Right. That's the man mentality.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
so,
yeah, straight.
but it's kind of like how we, like you were saying, society, right? We've been kind of programmed to be
Conditioned,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whether it's the men bravado thing where it's like, yo, man up, son. Keep pushing. Put
Don't
your head
cry,
down.
don't show emotion.
Don't bitch up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or the women were like, I ain't telling that bitch my business. Like, but meanwhile, she might have been able to be like, yo, I'm going through the same thing. And so it's not to circumvent therapy, but it's to have open dialogue. Again, authenticity.
Yeah.
Right? When we're authentic, we can actually lead with our hearts instead of thinking with our heads all the time. Right? This shit will drive us nuts. These eyes will drive us even crazier. So the podcast is Mask Off, the intersection of life, mental health, and hip hop culture. Right? And it's just open dialogue with the homies.
Yeah.
I just happen to have a lot of friends that are in certain places, and it's really dope.
And it's dope because you've seen a lot of walks of life, right? You've seen a lot of things. You've experienced a lot of things. You've absorbed a lot of things. And I think it's very.
Hey, yo.
You have had so many AOs today. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I feel like I'm
with you.
sitting with Nims now.
Hey, yo.
No, but it's good that you have that ability, platform, and widespread range of people and experiences where you can do that. And I think a lot of people don't know where to go to get that specific kind of experience.
Yeah.
So, like, is there a responsibility that you feel like you have with this platform? Do you feel like it's not a job, but like a necessity for your group, your comrades, your cohorts?
I mean, I think it's part of my purpose. Like I said, my purpose earlier is to hold space so others feel safe to be their authentic selves. Yeah. And if we're living in a time where people don't want to be authentic, they want to put whatever on social media, and then they back home like depressed or sad or not feeling good. Like, no, we should be able to talk about it all. Right. Like, let's show the full circle of everything. And that's what it is. So it's a conversation from when you're born all the way up to where you are now, where people see you. And it's to say, like, look, these people have success, and you see them on social media, whatever else, or whatever shows or however they perform, but you don't know what it took for them to get there, right? And hearing some of those things, even for me, like when I did interviewed Victor Cruz, I was like, I didn't know half the shit he was saying. I knew him for like 6-7 years, you know? And it's like, wow, people need to hear those things because there's somebody going through something similar to that right now and might be ready to stop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, why? Like, let's have these conversations. Let's be out there because the more you talk about it, the more, one, you're not going to feel alone, but two, you'll probably get support from your peoples. Yeah. And if you don't, you probably don't need those people anyway, and so that's better support. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
it's going to work out one way or the other. You can't heal what you don't reveal.
Exactly.
And two, when you reveal it, some people tend to reveal themselves. And you either get closer or you say, you know what, I can live without this person.
I think you know, the key point you said about Victor Cruz, like, I know this nigga for 6-7 years, and I didn't know half the shit he was going through. I think when people reach that wall or they reach that thing where it's just like, I can't go on. But they're looking at us. Mm. They might be looking at KAZ and you and Rosy or Jake or, you know, Ben. Like, they been looking at us like, oh, these niggas got it. They made it, this, that, and the third. But like, bro, no. I'm going through some shit right now. I just know how to keep it together. Yep. So if they hear a conversation like, you know, on your platform, they hear us talking, they're like, yo, these niggas are... Sometimes we're not to big ourselves up, but sometimes we are mythical figures. Like, these niggas is... Yo, KAZ is on MSG and Lowe's on Apple Music and Rosy's in Sweden and this, that, and the third. Like,
you said she's swinging?
Like, she's swinging somewhere. No, like,
she's on vacation. Wow.
No, but my point is, like, they're looking at us like it's there. But then they hear us talk like this, and it's like, oh, they are. Yeah. They do go through. They are struggling. They are whatever the case is. So yeah, your platform serves as that purpose. Like, nah, nigga, you ain't the only one going through it. Yeah. And I don't care how successful we are now or going to be, nigga, we still go through it. Yeah. So that encourages them to be like, okay, I don't have to stop. Yep. Because they're still going at this point.
And to add to that, and then you can speak, KAZ, and I'll be done. To add to that, I like that because oftentimes, like you guys are saying, like the male thing, whatever, sometimes people are just the person that shows up for everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like the life of the party, the person that just shows up for everybody else. They don't,
That's you.
That's me. But those people go through shit too. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. That's why I did an experiment on Twitter, like I would say like last year, where I was like, yo, I'm not gonna text anybody, and I'm gonna see who reaches out. Like I tweeted it, and I remember certain people like, are you good? Like everything okay? And I'm like, how hard is that?
I mean,
it was just a little social experiment. Because I'm like, if I stop reaching out so much to people,
I think we definitely get a little comfortable in social media and our phones and being like, oh, he's good. I saw him on Twitter. I seen him. I could text him. He posted on
Instagram. Like, he posted. He's
you know, and I think especially us in this.
That's our heat check,
right? In this line of business, whether I'll just say within the hip hop community. It's very easy to like not check on the strong friends and not necessarily have to, because a lot of times, to be completely honest, it's a heavy conversation sometimes. A lot of times folks will say, yo, you doing good?
Actually, no.
They don't want to open that up.
Oh my God.
How much time you got?
I'm going through and start crying and shit like
all it needs is one question like, nigga, I'm going. I can't do this anymore.
But that's real though, man. And you know, it's been. I'm so happy that the podcast is coming back because I love seeing spaces like that. I love seeing people that we either admire or look up to, or just are fans of. Sort of, like you said, be their most authentic selves. And I think spaces for that is extremely important. And I'm really happy to see it come back, man. Like I think everything. You know how I feel about you, man. I've known you for years. Everything you do is always just have positive energy exude from it. Whether it's from the chef for hire, whether it's from working in the industry. All this type of stuff. Anytime I see you, it's always just good ass vibes and good intentions.
Shout out to Hawaii Dylan, man.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan, bro.
Wasn't it Hawaii D?
It might be for the ladies, Rosie. I don't know.
Yo, imagine somebody calls a Hawaii mic in front of you and it says Hawaii D.
I swear on my mother, after this episode stops recording, I will never ever call you that again. I just had to get it off.
I'm changing his name to Hawaiian Dylan.
It's Hawaiian Mike to the death of me, but I just had to get these jokes in.
Man.
Just finding that shit out now, in this instance, I'm like, oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but that's the beauty, right? Yeah. And then think about finding that out about people you look up to, people you admire, people that influence you, right? Like, that's awesome, and this really happened. Like Bun B is probably one of my most like influential people that got me wanting to do it, right? Because a lot of the conversations we used to have, it was just that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like...
I need to make some infused Trill burgers, by the way. Need that.
You heard it here first.
Need that,
yo. Collaboration, yo. He's right here. Come to New York, bro. Build up. Build up and cook up right here in his shop.
We've never talked about that before.
He said, y'all are so creative. Put your genuine idea. Oh, what a good idea, guys.
But we need that point. We need that push. Let's go. Like, we ready for that.
I have one more question. When the restaurant is a serious question, by the way. When the restaurant opens,
why you looking at me like I was about to start joking?
Y'all gonna be like stupid ass question. Yeah, get out of here.
Don't say YD.
No. Don't say Dylan. The cocktails, will they be infused as well?
So everything will be an option.
An option.
Everything's an option.
I just wanted to know.
Will always be an option.
Because we're gonna come.
I might.
There might be a day where we might partake.
I might do the infused.
Field trip. He said he's gonna land us safely.
So I might do the infused cocktail.
I'll tell you this: we're about an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half into that edible.
Edamame.
I'm actually good. I'm like, all right, this is nice.
It's smooth.
It's very smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like I can start to feel a little bit.
You also didn't have a home meal.
But yeah, it's super light too.
No, it's super light. That's what I'm saying. I can feel a little bit.
But also, all right. Look, so we did a tasting menu last night. We did a dinner for all the dispensaries here in New York, right? The legal ones, and some of the card holders and everything. So we did all past food, right? And I can't control how many pieces people are gonna eat, right? So if I was to put too much, people be laid out. Yeah. But also, I know that these are all smokers. So the ones that are going to eat...
They know how to handle it.
Yeah, right? So you got to give them enough, but also kind of curate and control as best you can.
Yes. I mean, it's like me being at an open bar.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're not just going to be like, here's the bottle.
Okay, only one at a time.
Hold on. 2 hours later.
Shout out to all my single mothers, my nigga.
Yeah. 2 hours later, he's behind the bar.
Where's the microphone?
Behind the DJ booth. Or on stage doing something stupid.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, I get that.
That sounds like Wale Mania.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Dallas.
Good time. Mike, man, we could do this all day long, and I really wish we could, but we got a jet. But thank you so much for having us in your humble abode.
We do not have to jet. No. We want to get on the commercial flight.
Inland safely.
No jet over here.
We're not jetting nowhere.
I guess the last question I want to ask before we wrap up, let's just talk about when the restaurant will be open.
Yep.
Just the details. I guess if you want to give the address to where this place is going to be, I'm sure a lot of folks would like to come swing by, man. Talk to them.
So we'll be open in May. We're gonna do like a soft opening in May, probably fully open in June. It's fly private. It's gonna be a celebration of hip hop through global food culture, and you'll get a lot of like the food that we served here, where we're gonna mix and mash different food cultures around the world.
Awesome.
You know,
Awesome.
So it'll be fun. But we're in Brooklyn. Come find us on Chef for Hire or Flat Private Social. And if you make it here, you'll make it here. If not, I'm not forcing you. I ain't going to go chase you down. I'm definitely not just giving you the address.
I just want to ask this from the heart. Will you ever have hookah here? No? Okay.
From the heart.
I know.
That really came from his soul.
It came from the soul.
That really came from the heart.
I will never come in this bitch and look for hookah. If I'm coming in here, I'm coming for the
Don't
jerk
bring it
chicken.
either, Lo.
I'm not.
Don't bring a portable hookah.
I'm not going to bring the pen.
Okay.
I'm coming here for the jerk
You
chicken.
got a hookah pen?
Oh, nigga,
You know they
what?
sell little portable
No,
hookahs.
they sell the little pens. Yeah.
I'm Dominican. I'll bring you one from the
You
heights.
go to a smoke shop and they like it's like $45, $50, and that shit lasts like 3 weeks. Bro, trust
That's
me.
wild.
Yeah, during the
See, you
pandemic.
learn something new every day.
You sure do, yeah.
And you know, Mike, you know, I've seen your progression. Love what you're doing. Love your energy. You've always been the same person from day one to day 365. You haven't changed. You progress. It's love to see where you are and where you're going, and you know, I love the fact that we can do this with our friends. I'm glad that KAZ got me in here to do this with our friends, and Rosy just being a friend.
I love how Rosie always gets like the black shirt out. It's like, he's killing it. Mike killing it.
And then
Rosie's
just here.
Thanks for being here.
You know, Rosie's one of the most intricate, important parts of this podcast. So shout out to Rosie, and we love her.
It's gonna be May. You said it's gonna be such a
May.
Brooklyn summer.
Oh, it's going to be so Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're gonna be pulling up.
And we're going
I
to do it
think
for
I'm-
Brooklyn. The
Yes.
stoop's going to be popping. When y'all come through, y'all got to get the flick on the stoop with us. Like, this is Brooklyn. We're going to celebrate
Shout
that.
out, Mike, man, we love you, bro.
Speaking of flicking
Love
it up
y'all
on the stoop, let's go do that right now, guys.
Let's
Thank
go.
you so much for joining us. Lo, what you got going on this weekend, bro?
Driving my girl crazy.
Hey, welcome to the club, baby.
Watching the Knicks take their first playoff win at MSG this year.
Oh, you're going?
No, I'm watching.
He said watching, watching.
Well, yeah, like you high?
I just want to know.
And what are you doing, Rosie?
I just wanna know.
Well, yeah, I just don't sing it ever again. But
well.
Rosie, what you doing?
I'm watching playoffs. games
KAZ, you gonna be at the
all
Garden?
weekend.
I'm gonna be at the Garden Friday
You up?
night. It's gonna
Ooh.
be wild night.
Yes.
I'm gonna try and pull up to one of these Rangers Devils games too. I think
We
one of the
ready? Yeah,
games
we
is
ready
the-
for that. We ready for
Man,
that.
it's a wild time in New York City. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
I asked Kaz.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do
So
it.
give me a piece of
Please
advice.
Don't do it.
Who got tickets
I
to
mean,
the game?
He's like, don't even ask.
you got a first
Yeah,
boy.
like,
You got
Don't
a
even
womb,
start
you're selling your eggs. Wow. That's what it's going for right now.
You got
You're asking for playoff tickets for the New York Knicks.
At
Correct.
Madison Square Garden.
Correct.
And they can possibly go
Correct.
2-0 or win the series.
The spot to be sold out when they
Correct.
were losing.
You got right. I'm like, yo,
Correct.
Listen,
I am asking for that.
you
Correct.
gotta bust out one of them eggs.
I always feel like before we leave
Omelets?
every episode, I always gotta, KAZ is becoming one of the most. Shut up. KAZ is becoming one of those big talking heads, big analysts for everything NBA, NFL. So I have to ask him, whatever's popping in the NBA right now, I always have to ask him the question before we leave.
Okay.
We saw what happened with Draymond and Sabonis. What are
Okay.
your thoughts on that?
My immediate thoughts were Draymond definitely doesn't have the benefit of innocence in his back pocket.
When has he ever?
The playoffs definitely do not start until Draymond does some bullshit. So now the playoffs can officially start. But I think in this case, it wasn't necessarily all his fault. It wasn't all his
wasn't-
fault.
it was
like,
not. It was not.
It was the second time homeboy grabbed his ankle.
Yeah,
Like Domantas Sabonis tried to pull down Klay Thompson. They had a fast break going.
Curry was already off the court,
He
like-
grabbed the leg real quick, and then he sold that stomp to the chest like he was Eddie Guerrero. Like he was like, I was like, bro, he stepped on you, yes, but like he tried to do the hop over it to not fully do the full like Bronx tail stomp through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's trying to run the break. So obviously, I don't know. I think Draymond probably misses a game. You know what I mean? Adam Silver, he can't let that shit slide. You know what I mean? So I think he might miss a game, but. I had the Kings winning this series anyway, so I thought.
I thought Warriors got it.
I think the Kings are gonna win this series. I think it's gonna go 7. I think it's gonna go 7.
It probably will. It's gonna go 6.
I think the Warriors win these next 2 at home.
Yeah, of course.
It's my whole thing is the Warriors they haven't won on the road all season long. Like every important game on the road they've
lost.
never
been down 2-0 in the playoff series.
That's true. I mean, that's true. Though I haven't even seen that. I didn't think about that. So I mean, who knows, man? Lesser men than me have bet against light skinned Jesus, and I'm not gonna do it right now. So
and one more because we went to the beautiful Wayne tour at the Apollo Theater on Sunday night.
Shout out Karen Civil. Shout out Young Money Entertainment. Appreciate
shout out Cam pulled up.
The hospitality over there.
So yeah, I just want to address this real quick.
Why didn't y'all invite me?
You were not in town.
You weren't even here.
I saw you on Snapchat. What you mean?
Nigga, you just landed yesterday. What are you talking about?
I just want to know where my invite was.
You just wanted to invite. Now you know how it feels, right?
I didn't get an invite either.
Damn, bro.
Niggas ain't invited to Dreamville. Like, I ain't get no invite.
Where's my phone call?
You were on Wale Mania.
So I was home. So like, where's my invite? I want to see Boss and Cole.
I want to see Drake and Cole. I want to see Usher and Burna Boy. Like, what the fuck? No, when I got to the concert, I was very skeptical, but like, he reminded me that, even though I still believe that 50 will beat him, just how he did it, how he performed, what he performed. How he got in and out of these records.
Voodoo on, you see?
No, I still feel how I feel.
That Wayne Voodoo hit. It was razzle dazzle in the air.
It's nothing wrong with being reminded.
No, yes, babe.
There's nothing wrong with we were all in the building.
Here's the thing that I think a lot of people didn't understand with your take. That has taken all the life of his own. He's not saying Wayne is ass. Wayne clearly has
where the bells at?
Hella fucking records.
Keep going. Yeah,
he clearly has hella fucking records, right?
Yes.
But I understood where you were coming from,
right?
From the time, right?
Yeah.
You gotta pick 20 songs. You gotta sequence them right.
All you gotta do is get to 12.
Wait, is there gonna be a versus?
I think we're about to speak it into existence. I think.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I thought versus died.
We've been really speaking it
between the Breakfast Club, between Hot 97, between all these platforms.
I thought versus was over.
They come back.
They're gonna come back. I think they're gonna speak this into existence, and I think it was good for them to kind of take some time off. They were kind of
they were losing.
The last couple of verses was like,
they lost a lot. The last good one was Locks and Dipset. They lost Sting.
Right. So if they do come back, I do think they're gonna come back with a vengeance. And I think with all this talk, remember it here first. If it does end up happening, I think this motherfucker helps speak it into existence. That being said,
I think I host it.
That's right. You gotta host that shit too. The Wayne show was incredible. I had this fat dude next to me that I almost had to beat up because he kept touching me, and he had a wife beater on, and he was stinky and musty.
I
and
know. You were sitting right by the bar.
No, not by the bar. I was on the mezzanine.
No, yeah,
but do you see this black dude in a tank top that was musty as hell?
Yeah, I know you talking
about. This dude, shout out to Keith Nelson. He is the culture editor at Men's and Fitness. He was sitting right next to me.
Okay.
And he could attest to this story as well. It was just this dude. He was obviously super
drunk.
happy, super drunk, but
just super musty.
Just picture how he smelled.
Musty, dusty.
He was in a tank top. He was heavy.
Yeah.
He was jumping. No offense, you know what I mean? He was drunk and fat, you know what I'm saying? So you could only imagine how this man smelled as I'm trying to enjoy this Wayne concert,
B.O. was moving.
He kept elbowing and then he's coming up and
somebody to dance
putting
with.
and me 99% of the time I'm with it. I'm like, yeah, fuck, we out here, let's do it.
Yeah.
But he just kept touching me and grabbing me and knocking into me, and it's assigned seats up there, so I'm just like, yo. I asked him the first time, hey man, just please don't touch me. I appreciate that. I know we have to go, but it's fun.
Just slide over.
Because no, man, we in Brooklyn. I'm like,
we're in Harlem. No, we're in Harlem.
Real conversation. That's why I knew he was fucked up. I'm like,
we're at the
Apollo. We're at the Apollo Theater. It doesn't get more Harlem than this. It really does.
My brother in Christ.
So I'm trying to tell because this nigga is clearly inebriated, and I gave nothing for beating up a drunk nigga at the party. And on top of that,
you don't fight, Kaz.
Listen, I was dangerously close to beating this
KAZ
nigga
almost
up,
beat
yo.
my ass, but y'all know that story.
Because it went on for like 60% of the show. Like he would jump up, he would jump down, he would throw his hat into the crowd. He was just the dude that everybody was looking at like, this motherfucker
what the
is causing.
fuck are you doing?
And he was
Yeah.
right next to me the whole time. So at one point,
So everybody thought that was your man's problem.
no, I was asking around. I'm like, yo, does anybody know this nigga? Like, why does he keep touching me? I'm like, yo, stop. And then eventually his girl came down. It's like, oh yeah, we're together. I'm like, yo, please get this nigga away from me, yo. Like, I have too much to lose. I do not want to beat this nigga up, and I love Wayne. I do not want to.
He probably was a Knicks fan.
Fuck you. Anyway, this has been an episode of Say Less with KAZ on ROSY. Like always, subscribe at youtube.com/Kazeem. Find us anywhere you stream podcasts. And like we always do with this time, stay free, stay safe, and always say less.
These episodes are getting funnier and funnier.
Goddamn. And fat guy in the Apollo.
Not Brooklyn.
Not Brooklyn. Please keep your musty ass to your fucking self. See y'all next week, people.
That was the best way to end this shit.
Keep your musty ass.